G'day guys. I'm going to go over some things today to do with modifying detectors. How much should it cost? First of all, who's doing the modifications? Who's doing the development? Who's doing the testing? Who is organising and putting everything together? Well, it usually just comes down to one person. And let's have a look. Electronic engineer. Let's have a look at the pay rates of electronic engineers. Okay. This is in Australian dollars, and I've done this using Grok on X. I also run it on Gemini, and it comes up the same data. Okay. Mid to senior level, 5 or 10 years experience. $226.5 an hour. Highly specialized, 10 years plus or niche skills. $302 an hour. Top tier with specialized expertise, not commonly available. Oh, I wonder who that could be. Anyway, $453 an hour. And that's just on the engineering side. Then we got to pull in specialized equipment, tools, rental space, overhead costs of electricity, all sorts of other things that there are. And what does the hourly rate run out to if you're going to be including everything? And that is a business. So this is how you got to work this stuff out. Now, it's fair enough, because you have a look at someone like a lawyer. A lawyer will charge you $650 to $750 an hour. And they could have only been in the game for 3 or 4 years. So we have a look at rates of pay. And let's look at doing a 7000. Let's look at what went into examining the 7000 and the testing to reduce the noise floor of that detector. R&D. Well, while the R&D is being done, there's no income being generated, because it's just research and development. And sometimes with this stuff, there can be weeks goes into the research and development. So let's have a look at, even if it took a month, how many hours in a month? Multiply it by $450. And there is all these costs that have to be recuperated, I suppose, or covered, I suppose. So there's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just in that. Let's have a look at what else. There is time in doing, time in testing, and the rest of it. So part of that will come along. And it all has to be recouped. It's not a free lunch out there. We're not going to do a free lunch. So we get to componentry, parts, acquisition of, all the time searching for the right stuff, testing what you get to make sure it's up to speed of what you're going to use it for. It is very different than making a loaf of bread. It is very specialized. It is very niche. And there is not a lot of people doing it. funny when you look at it. Lawyers are they're everywhere. They're everywhere, and they charge top dollar. It's just the way it works. So if you want to have a lawyer for a day, it'll cost you a lot of money. So you want a lawyer working you all day long, it could cost you somewhere round about maybe $6,000. If you want to get a KC working for you all day, minimum $8,000. So it's very, very expensive to pay for expertise. If you want a surgeon to do specific work on you, like do some heart work or do some work if you've got a stroke or some problem with your noggin, you're going to get a massive bill, and it's not going to be the typical they should be working for X hourly rate. It will be in the tens of thousands of dollars. So you got to pay for what you get, and if you don't pay, you'll probably die or not have very good legal representation, whatever the case may be. And maybe in electronics you get a very crappy job or something not right. The other thing too, we'll go on about the 7,000 for starters. When I do the work, I put a 5-year warranty on our work. That's to say that what we do will not blow up, disintegrate, or do anything of that nature. It's going to work. So we'll look after the clients for 5 years. And in some cases, we have looked after clients for longer. And sometimes we don't charge. So there is this little bit of extra we do, and it pulls everything back a bit in overall rate. So we are still looking at working on the 7,000 detector. Okay, 7,000 detector is going to cost you a new one. I think is, if they're still selling them, I think they were 12 grand or something. Okay, when they first came out as well, 2015, that detector's 10 years old. 10 years old. I don't know anybody who's got a TV that's 10 years old, or a computer that's 10 years old, or any functioning electronics that's 10 years old. Within reason. I mean, things that like two-way radios probably you still have if you got them. A 10-year-old mobile phone, do you have one? But people have 10-year-old metal detectors and everything in between. There's a lot of wear and tear in those components on those detectors anyway. Capacitors lose their capacity, they dry out. They got liquid electrolyte inside the capacitors. I was going to say electrolytic fluid. That's basically a synthetic oil, and it vaporizes and leaks out. That's why they got rubber bungs in the bottom of them, and usually also some indented alloy on the top, because if it wants to vent really hard, it blows the top and doesn't go off like a detonator. So this is common. These things have wear out mechanisms. Components have wear out mechanisms. Fast switching components, such as the input stage of a detector, which gets quite warm actually, if you want to feel it. Heat exacerbates the problem of metal migration. Eventually, depending, who knows when, these switching components can fail. They can usually go short circuit as metal ions migrate over structures and short out. It can also fracture and go the other way. There's a lot of things that can happen. In the average computer chip, in the, say the CPU, MPU, whatever you want to call it, inside a detector, what have we got? We have the CPU, and inside that it has probably 10,000 transistor junctions all vibrating away and causing heat, and any one of those can fail and it will stop working. So And some of them have even more. Some of them have, God, look, there's chips out there. If you go and look it up, the stuff they're using now is probably 2 to 5 million transistor junctions in them. It's astronomical what they have. So we've got all these components. You've got other components. Everything is built on microscopic level silicon junctions, gates, and otherwise. And there's absolutely hundreds of millions of active junctions in these detectors, all jiggling away, generating heat and vibrating their way to eventual failure, which they will. Who knows when it's going to be? Is it going to be next week, next month, next year, next century? Who knows? It can happen. And if you stick your fingers in these things, well, it's like the old story of the guy who works on the motor car. And he says, well, guess what? Your transmission is stuffed. We need to put a new transmission in that car, or we can repair it. So the customer says, oh, how about you put a new one in? Okay, we'll put a new one in. We put a new transmission in the car. 2 weeks later, the engine blows up and the customer goes, oh, the car stopped working. And the mechanic goes, well, the engine blew up. But you were the last person to work on the car. It's your fault. This is what people are like. Trying to get something for free. So, it is out there. It does happen. And they will say, but the car is a whole entity and you touched it and now the engine's blown up. But the transmission didn't do that, nor did replacing it or anything in that area. It didn't touch over here. It had no reason to, So it's same in detectors. You work on the input stage with the receivers and the audio stage blows up. You didn't touch it. You had no reason to. You wouldn't even accidentally go anywhere near it. It's totally separate. The CPU stopped working. Really, do you know how it works? is its crystal oscillator still on the board? Hasn't come off or fractured or whatever on the solder joints? Oh God, it's just a schmozzle of things that can happen. So anyway, with the price of the boards and doing work on people's expensive detectors, you have to charge for it, because otherwise, if you're going to do it at a labour rate of a process worker, and you do it and you make your $100 and it blows up, well, guess what? They're going to come after you for fixing it, or they're going to say, oh no, I want a whole new detector, please. It's going to cost 10, 12 grand, right? Well, you made your $100 and you've gone backwards by $11,900. So it's not a very good business model, is it? That won't work. And you're not even taking into account the expertise that needs to go into this. So I'm just putting it out there that the amount of man hours that goes into doing a 7000 from top to bottom is between 8 and 10 hours plus material costs. So if anyone thinks that $3,500 is just some ferrite and some black paint, which is not just black paint, and other niche things that are done, which some people don't even know what's done because they weren't there and didn't look and weren't doing it. So they have no idea. $3,500 is a risky proposition doing those detectors. For the performance increase, if you read the video right of reply to Andrew McAllister, read the comments from customers of mine, or David's and mine, or ours, or DetectorMods customers. Read them, they are there. These are just off-the-cuff comments. I have not asked for anyone to make a comment on any of my videos. I wouldn't do that. These are all genuine people. I know the names, and it's the same as basically the emails that we have had. Now, everyone I've read there is happy as Larry, and you can read them for yourself what they say. So it's very disingenuous that there's all these massive amounts of video from one or two or three people who happen to, well, to me, it looks like, in my opinion, are in cahoots with each other, causing as much damage and trouble as possible, considering they are a competition business, because they had to go and stick their beak into it. Why did they do that? Why? Very interesting. And if you have a read on the competition business website, it states, it actually says, the people in Ballarat, wonder who they could be, offer a 5-year warranty on their work. If you have an issue with their detectors, you better see them. But then this person who has this on his website, which is screenshot, by the way, starts pulling apart a detector he knows is under a 5-year warranty. Well, he doesn't actually do it. He gets the layman customer to do it, or the layman customer just does it, or however they've organised it. But he's the layman customer, the computer programmer, who has just put on his electronics expert hat, pulls it apart, and without any static precautions or anything, he's manhandling the boards, grabbing the boards with blunt nose pliers near critical componentry. And look, watch the video, guys. Go and have a look at his video. I put a link to it there of his name somewhere in the comments on the last video. Go and look at it. Just go and look at it. Make up your own mind, and yeah, you know, I can tell you every part of that. I can tell you so many wrongdoings. It's not funny. You know, even the back of the detector falling over hard and doing a right angle on the mylar interconnect strip will break the copper tracks. But, you know, they're all experts and they all know how to do it expertly. And I'm just shaking my head like, what the hell's going on? You know, and it's just crazy. And oh yeah, that's all there is. There's nothing more to it, really. Fantastic. I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad it's on video, and I'm glad it's recorded and it's saved away, because some people have no idea what they are talking about. They should have stuck to their previous occupation, and don't try and be a metal detector expert whiz when you have no idea what you are doing or what you are talking about. It is disingenuous, to say the least. So the thing is, what was pointed out is that there's only some black paint and some ferrite, I-T-E, not it. Okay, there's no ferrets in there, there's ferrite. So this is where we're at with this stuff. Anyway, apart from that, I have new upgrades, not for the 7, but for all the other detectors. And I'm going to let you in on this new one. I'm going to say it first because I've had some correspondence come through from some people that are part of that network, that group networking there, that have accused me. Oh, here's a good one. I have to show you. I don't want to show you the correspondence. It's very disjointed and strange. But the audio boosters we make, which I designed by myself some years ago, this person has accused me of copying his design. And the rant. I really feel like reading it out, what they said, so you get an understanding of what I have to deal with. It's amazing. It really is. And there's other ones there too, which I won't read out because, yeah, there's a fellow who's in fear for himself that sent me a bit of an expose on what he was told by other parties. But I don't think I won't do the wrong thing by him and air that out. And even though the other one's quite, I can't think of a word to use. Nonsensical is a good word, I suppose. But yeah, accuse me of stealing his design for something he doesn't have. I don't know. And it starts off, this is how it starts off though. So he who wrote it will know. It says, "You rat." All right? So you probably have an idea who may start a sentence with "you rat." And I found that more amusing than anything else. But a big, long list of "you did this, you stole this, you did that." This is a good one. You copied other people's modifications. Really? Did I now? Oh my God. How about, I think it's the other way around. You copied. Oh dear. And I could tell you a little story about you copied. You copied. I'll tell you this. This is true. I'll swear to God this is a 100% true. And David knows about this. We had a fellow a while ago, and he would call up. This is when I allowed people access to my mobile phone. I don't allow people to ring me anymore, unless I know them very well. He used to ring me up, and he'd say stuff like, "Hey, Woody," that's how he used to talk. "Hey, Woody, oh, I'm trying to do this with my detector. I only want to do it to my detector. Can you tell me how to do this?" And go, stupid me. Stupid me. Oh yeah. No, I only want to do it. I'm not doing it commercially. I just want to do it for my own detector. And I knew this guy. He'd sent me photographs of gold he'd found in WA, and he'd write on it and say, "Hey, Woody, look at all these bits and pieces I found. You know, with the detector. Because I did one of his detectors for him first up, and the thing was that I don't know the whole story, whatever happened in his life or whatever, but he ended up back on the East Coast, and you know, Woody, I want to do this to my detector." So I told him, and about 2 or 3 weeks later, there's an ad in the Gold, Gem and Treasure magazine with him doing this upgrade. Right? So he fell into my bad book, so I don't want to talk to him no more or have anything to do with him. But he did continue to ring up and harass for information, and I had to cut him off. I just had to. And do I tell you about the field effect transistors? I'm not going to say who mentioned this, but this, I'll just say it with no name attached or any reference to where it come from or who it is. "Hey, Woody, I made some really good changes to my detector." "Oh, yeah?" Goes, "I changed the field effect transistors." And I go, "Oh, what? What, the input MOSFETs?" "Yeah, they're field effect transistors." MOSFET? Yeah, field effect transistor. Yeah, okay. You know, metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. "Oh, I've changed the field effect transistors." And I'm going, yeah, like, what are they? Lower resistance, less capacitance. You know, what's the criteria? No, no, no. It's to improve the field effect. And I'm thinking to myself, what are you on about? He goes, no, it improves the field effect. And I'm thinking, okay, here it comes. What's coming next? I said, yeah, okay, the field effect. Yes, okay, it's an isolated gate MOS junction in a transistor. Yeah, okay, I know what it is. What about it? He goes, it improves the field effect. And I'm going, what do you mean? He goes, it improves the function of the whole detector in the gold field. And I went, what? And his idea was that by changing a couple of transistors, or MOSFETs, it's done something to the gold field. The effect has a different effect on the gold field or something. And I'm just going, whoa, you know. And these are sort of things I was told. And I just went, well, you know, yes, you can go and tell everybody about that, because I didn't tell you. Tell them all about the field effect, the gold field effect. Just mind boggles. I look at things from a pretty technical point of view, like that's what it is. And you get this and you're going, what are you talking about? You know, have you been rubbing the magic genie bottle or something? What's going on here? I don't know. So, yeah, it's just weird. Some of the stuff that just comes out of people's mouths, you know. And the other one he told customers of mine, I got told this on about 3 occasions, that he taught me everything I know. Yeah, so he was the expert and he taught me everything I know. I don't even know him. I've spoken to him on the phone and he sent me some photographs from bloody Western Australia. That's the extent of it, but he's taught me everything I know. Oh, thank you. Uh, I don't know. He must have published an invisible book or something I read in my dreams. I have no idea where this stuff comes from, but it's quite funny. Anyway. Now, that's just something I'm saying because people will try and lay claim to what I do. So I'm going to say it. I've never made mention of it before. Okay, a lot of people out there, or a few people, who have various modified detectors have an issue running the new coils that Coiltech and Nugget Finder have put out. There's comments out there that say, I can't run more than 30% gain, whatever it may be. That's just fact. It's factual. And yeah, I know what causes it. I know how to fix it and all the rest of it. But there's some of these detectors that this is just wording up everyone else who does anything in this field. If I carry on and say all this, it's just educating them all. They don't know because they would have done it. I've done it. I know. They haven't done it. It doesn't exist. There's no offer on any of their websites or anything about it. But it's not on mine either. You're going to hear it first from me. There is a mechanism in these detectors where these new coils are having an adverse effect. And I'm not going to say what. I'm not going to put out a trail of breadcrumbs for them to follow and stumble across possibly what it might be. But there is a adverse effect on some of these modified detectors with the new coils. And yeah, it's very easy to fix. It's very easy to fix. So I've come up with what I'm going to probably build up as. I'm going to probably do it on detectors, but I might offer it as a module that other people can put into their detectors. So you can do it yourself. And I'm thinking along the lines of doing a lot of this actually, where, you know, some of these things that crop up, which is what I classify as a fairly observable, straightforward fix. I can make something and, you know, you can put it in there yourself because, and I don't want to get involved with doing other people's modified detectors because it's a cross pollination of things, even though it's happened to one of mine in a warranty period, which was never acted upon by the customer for unknown reasons. But he lets the opposition do it. Oh dear, that's what I say. What's the reasoning for this? Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. Why would you do that? I always say this. Why would you do that? And that's what you got to do. You got to think, why was it done? Cause and effect. You know, I might walk down the street and start giving strangers $10 notes. A normal person wouldn't do that. So what's the end game there? Because I'd have someone over in the bushes videoing it all, put it up on YouTube and saying, hey, I saw this guy doing it. Isn't he a good guy? So it'd be some sort of self-righteous charity event for some internal virtue signaling that you can run around for a little angel's halo above your head saying, aren't I a good person? You know, I don't know. There's always a reason why anything's done. Don't ever think there's not. Usually there's always an ulterior motive for everything. There's probably an ulterior motive for me making these videos. Basically, would probably be trying to shine the light on the actions of some, just so it doesn't get out of control and fester out there and become an old wives' tale that's believed because it's perpetuated by, you know, whoever. But you know what the detector industry's like? The detector industry in itself has a good measure of charlatans in it. It has a good measure of fools, liars, and opportunists, claim jumpers, and we all have that friend who we took out to our patch on the proviso that they'd only go to that patch with us. And we come back by ourselves one day and we find it looks like a moonscape and it's been raped and pillaged. We all have that friend who usually ends up being the ex-friend. I've had that. And I think everyone's had that. But the whole detecting industry, there was I'm not saying any names again, but, you know, they would probably put their hand up for it if I really asked them to. But an old mine lab detector tester, saying no names, said this recently, that the metal detecting industry is absolutely toxic. And it's full of it. It is. It is full of jealousy, backstabbing, and innuendo, and one-upmanship. It's full of it. And sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. It can be very difficult to, you know, electronically transport buckets of water to put out the fire. But sometimes you just have to do this. I think David's here. Maybe not. Maybe. I hear doors clicking. Oh, it is David. There you go. David's here.
Are you done?
No, I'm still recording. I heard the door click and everything.
That's right. I'll go to the post office. Got to pick up a dude's gizmo. We need to turn this on, verify it works, and then we'll work on it.
Okay. Okay, catch up. Now he's just brought something in. I don't know what it is. Got lots of stamps on it. Feels like a coil. Whoa! What's that in there? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, it's one of those. It's got that on the end of it. I think they want us to make, they want David to make a dongle. So there you go. That's why you got to be very careful with making dongles. Stuff that up, you stuff the detector up. So very critical, and we have 2 people double check the work on these. You chop that off and get the wiring wrong making a dongle. Goodbye detector, because it'll blow up the black module and you won't be able to get a replacement because they don't exist. Anyway, your coil is here. David has made many, many dongles for running things like X coils and whatever else, free plug to X coils. And we never had an issue because I check it on the one here anyway, make sure it doesn't blow up. No, I did a video telling you how to protect your detectors from that sort of stuff. I don't know if anyone's done it. If you have done it, if you've gone and done microfuses on the lines, like the way I said, let us know, because if you do short out something and you try and shove excessive voltage up the blue wire or into the one of the receive wires and do it adversely, it'll take out the black module, and you will be crying when you find out that's going to cost you $8,000 to fix. So not the best. Fusible resistors that are rated for a couple of milliamps, stuff like that is what you want in these detectors. And if there was some wise person out there that can make a adapter plug and put little tiny fuses in it, like the little tiny fuses, can't use big ones, you'd probably sell millions of them to people that want to experiment and put different coils on these 7000s. And even the 6000, you've got to be careful too. People winding coils for the 6 and trying to utilize the dongle, which you can. So I've done it. Yeah, like I say, you can do it. There you are. What connector's that? The thing is, you can make your own. You can make your own 6000 coils if you want, but I'll warn you all on one thing about the 6000. Don't make the coil super low resistive, or use big fat copper wire that loads the poor old transmit stage too much. It'll damage it. It draws too much current and can damage it. So be very careful about that. You have to replace things if that happens. You can replace them, but yeah, don't draw too much current with a aftermarket coil if you are game enough to make them. By the way, as well, I am thinking of making up. Should I say making up? I'll use this. I'm thinking of having manufactured a whole set of coils, top, bottom, and skid plate. I'm looking actually around the existing sort of 12 inch. And at this stage, I've only thought about making rounds because of their most efficient coil shape, and selling them. I was going to not make coils. We make big coils. They're very time consuming, and it's going to be a lot of expensive material go into those coils, the big ones, the big drag coils. But I thought about making kits up, or I don't even know if I make kits. How about Well, I can get double D cable now. I've got supply double D cable. I've got a supply of mono cable, and I can get plastic shells. And I was thinking about getting them made around about 12 inches, maybe more, maybe less. Let me know in the comments if you are interested in making your own coils, rather than ripping things apart and trying to rebuild. It's not that hard. Go and buy yourself a bottle of wire shield. It's going to cost you well, people have told me it's going to cost $135. It'll last forever. It's just like paint, and you put it on fairly thin. You need that sort of stuff. You can use the stuff they put on guitars as well, but it's better off buying a big bottle of wire shield, or go halves with someone, or in a club. Buy a litre of it and do a 100 mils each. God, you do heaps of coils with that. So you can do that sort of thing. But if you're interested, I'm thinking either, should I do it, should I not? They won't be expensive as such. Won't be like, if you have a dongle, you can make your own 7000 coil. There's enough information I've put up there on previous videos. If you want to make your own 7000 coil, it's there. You just got to be careful that you don't do anything dumb and shove the transmit up the receive or something like that. Shove the wrong thing up the Jixie sort of thing, because you'll damage that module. And you can make up your own coils for the 6 as well. Just be very careful on the overall resistive winding measurements, how it works, how it's all put together. It does have a little inductor in there, a little inductor resistor capacitor network as well. That's probably to do something with flyback, take the edge off it or something. I should actually sit down and nut that out for everybody, give you the part values and how it's configured. So if you do want to make 6000 type coils, you can. There's nothing stopping you as long as you've got that data communication, that little encryptor chip out of the coil. It'll work. In my opinion, and do you notice how I say in my opinion a lot? In my opinion, it doesn't do much more than just say, oh yeah, it's a coil connected. Well, it doesn't even know, well, this thing doesn't actually tell it the coil's connected. It tells it that it's connected, right? And the rest of the coil, it does have sensing in the detector that senses the actual coil winding and says, oh, it's a coil there. But if it hasn't got that encryptor, that little, if it hasn't got, where are we? If it hasn't got that little black blob, that's all it is, 2-wire thing. If it hasn't got that, it won't work. And that's on its own separate pair of wires anyway, which, there it is. See, it's got the red and black on it. And it goes, well, have a look at it. It's by itself. It's not touching anything to where the coil goes. Here, it ain't touching, nothing, 0. It runs in and goes to the pins on that. So, you know what I think about encrypted? Thou shalt not copy our coil. Thou shalt not make their own coil for thou purchase detector. I think that I don't like it. You should be able to put any aftermarket coil, on any detector. It'd be like if you buy a motor vehicle and you didn't like the rims on it or something, and you went to put different rims and tires on, and it was a complete different stud pattern that didn't exist, or things were done in a particular way that you couldn't put any different alloy rim on or anything like that. Imagine that. Would you be like, I'm never buying that make a vehicle again? Yeah, so, there's choices out there now, guys. Now, like I say, I don't go and advertise much more than the MindLab stuff, but bugger it, you've got good old Bug Whiskers out there making his QED detector. If you want to look at what the QED is, look it up on the internet. QED metal detector, right? Go have a look at it. If you want to go and have a look at the Algo Force, ALGOFORCE, ex-Minelab personnel that went out and made their own company. That you can run any coil on those pulse induction detectors. I did make a video with Eugene and Peter B some videos ago about the Algo, comparing it with the 6000. Look, like I say, sometimes I don't want to say stuff, but in all honesty, that Algo detector, the Algo Force, it's not a bad detector. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than a 6000. Sorry, Minelab, you're going to hate my gut saying that, but look, let's look at it from a truthful point of view. That detector on very small gold worked extremely well. It actually has a discrimination ID function with a monocoil, which obviously is sampling the decay curve and coming up with some revelation of what the material might be, is where it sits in the decay and how it's basically its curvature of decay. Do you want me to go into the technical side, or just say that it knows what it's looking at? There's your decay curve. Some metals up here, some metals down there, and it probably corresponds with some other things it's sampling and goes, oh, that's probably that, and gives you a readout. So yeah, the other detectors don't have it. So yeah, the Algo Force, no kickback to me. I don't sell Algo Forces. Technically, it's even an opposition product to what we were still doing. We're still working on Detector own product. Don't worry about that. It's just a slow process because it bloody costs a fortune. And we got Nocta coming out with two new pulse induction detectors. And eventually I'll get my hands on a couple. I don't think they're released yet. I'll get my hands on a couple of those. And if they're worth their weight, we'll go out and test them. And if they're good, I'm going to say they're good. If they're crap, I'm going to say they're crap. It's just I don't care. And a lot of people, I'll tell you right now, a lot of people will not give me stuff to test. The manufacturers will not give me anything to test. Nothing to look at, because I probably look at it a bit too hard. And I'm going to give my honest opinion on it. If it's crap, I'm going to say it's crap. If it's good, I'm going to say it's good. If it's absolutely brilliant and excellent, well, then I'll be saying that as well. But, would you believe I've actually had stuff to go and plug on the channel? Sell this, sell that. Can you do this? We'll give you this, that, and the other. But a lot of it I won't do. I just can't, because then I'm compromised. I can't give an honest opinion because I'll have to see how it works. They'll tie you up, and you're trapped. It's like anything, isn't it? When you're on the hook, you have to toe the line, or else you'll be dropped from the hook, and you'll flounder around, not know what you're doing. It's. I'll give you a prime example. This is my point of view. You have a look at some of the stuff that happened in Victoria. You probably worldwide, about the COVID stuff. When the cops are out shooting people with rubber bullets, right? I'm not joking. Because do you think they wanted to, or do you think they were told to? And if you didn't toe the line and do what they said, what would happen? I mean, there's obviously some in the mix there. They're total, like firemen who start fires. Well, obviously there's firemen that start fires, and there's some police that love going around giving everyone a hiding and a hard time, and there's normal ones as well, believe it or not. But if those police weren't relying on a pay packet and had a free rein moral compass to do what was really right at the time, they wouldn't have done that. It's because, what's hanging over their head. The pay packet will disappear and they'll be kicked out. That's what's hanging over your head. So as soon as you're compromised, in goes the bias, and you're going to do what your overlord is going to tell you to do. Otherwise, you will be on the starvation queue, right? We don't want that. Same with detectors. Imagine if I took someone's coils or detectors and I kept going, hey, look at this. Hey, I'd feel like an absolute goose doing it. I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't do it. I don't want to do it. But it may be, like, if we bring our own detector out, it might be a different story because there'll be all that development cost that needs to be recouped. And we'll probably have to push detectors. But I'll tell you what, if it's not a good detector, it's not going to market in the first place. So that's where it'll be. So, it's all interesting stuff, isn't it? It is interesting. There's probably a lot went into this video now. Would you believe I made an hour video before this one, and I looked at it, I said too much, nah, and I just deleted it. Then I did another one after that, and I did it for half an hour without all the content. And I looked at that, and I said too much, and I deleted it. And on this one, I've pulled it right back. I've really pulled the reins back, just to make sure that people who have gone above, what's that word? Above and beyond. Put those two words together and you get above. People who have gone above and beyond, keeping me informed of happenings, well then, I just make sure I don't say anything at all that outs anybody. I just won't do that. And I could actually I won't even say that because I won't. Okay. I think there's enough separation there that no one will cotton onto anything. So I'm pretty sure there is anyway. I just don't want to say anything about anything. Can't prove it anyway. Apart from that, have a read of the comments on the Andrew McAllister reply. What people have said. It's not my words, it's theirs. Have a read. There's some real interesting things in there, by the way. But you make up your own mind on it. I'm not saying anything. I'm not going to say anything about it. So anyway, that's where we are, guys. By the way, I did perfect the drop out the small targets, only hear the big. I've done that. That's not a problem. I've done the thing if you want to use any coil on your modified detector. And also I've noticed that even on some detectors, there's a bit of an issue on some coils. I'm not going to out the coils. I don't want to, because as soon as you out somebody like that, you'll be public enemy number one, and they'll just come gunning for you through the back door. It's just how it works. People are in on things by the way things unfold, and it's sort of like you make yourself corporate enemy number one, and you make yourself competition enemy number one, and won't be extorted enemy number one. Oh dear. And yes, what do they say? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's the best one, isn't it? I think that sums up everything. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. But yeah, that's where we are at. And there's a whole heap of comments have come through like crazy. I've got a heap of stuff I've got to answer on that thing. Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, some of it just makes me laugh because of the content. Yeah. I like this one. This is a good one. Let it ride, Woody. These things can grind on you negatively if you're not mindful. I've noticed when you're doing well, it's probably meant to be comma. It is a comma, I didn't read it. Sorry, it's full stop. I've noticed when you're doing well, it draws in those who sometimes are jealous of your success. Possibly. Like I say, how long have we been doing this for? And how many detectors have we done? It's thousands. It's just been such a long ride. You know, it's over 20 years, it's 30 years maybe, doing detectors. Yeah, there's a lot of detectors we've done. It really is. But all good. So yeah, I'm just waffling on now. But guys, I want you all to find gold. That's why we do these things. And sorry that doing a 7,000 does cost a lot of money, but it's something that if it didn't, I wouldn't do it because the risk analysis or the risk reward ratio is too great. So that's the main reason. And don't believe people who just flippantly say it's just this and just that. It's not. We're going to leave that for a while. This will all be proven at a later date. Mark my words on it. It will be proven. So, wrong things have been said. Wrong things in a defamatory way. And it won't go away. Believe me, it won't go away. So we have to do what we have to do. And rope yourself into it, well, it's on you. But like I say, takes all sorts, doesn't it? And we all know that in our lives we come across the unusual or plain strange. All sorts of funny things out there. But I don't know. Well, got that bit out. But I was really just wanted to say about a bit of damage control, if you want to call it that, setting things straight, and the reasons why. So like I say, guys, and I'll say it at the end of this one, if you want to load this video to any prospecting website, whatever, go for it. Just do it. If you want to chop it and only put up segments of it, do it. Whatever you feel like you want to do. This can be whatever. It can go anywhere. I don't care. So it's all factual. It is as things are and how things happened and how things have unwound. Like I say, just read or watch the previous video and you get an idea of what happened. I've read everything from email in context. There's previous emails. I'm not going to read that because it's, I don't need to, but I need to, shoot some of this rubbish down because it's just stupid. It is. It's really childish. And it's childish with a lot of nasty thrown in there. It's like, it's like some kid fell on the ground, so they all go around trying to put the boot in or something. It's something along those lines. I think it's rather weird. where yeah, you'll see it for what it is. It is just what it is. Everything is what it is. Yeah, some of these videos are probably a bit of my right of reply because, you know, it just keeps on happening. So there'll probably be a retort to this video. I don't know what they're going to, what magic they're going to pull out, but I've got some things here I could dangle in front of the camera where I've had, well, you know, it's true. I've had customers come round here with their detectors and said, can you rip all this stuff out and put your stuff in? And I have, actually. There's one I did very recently, and I want the feedback on that because I have heard nothing. And hearing nothing could be a dangerous thing these days. Usually, if someone's got something to say and they want to whinge about it, they won't take 8 months to do it. They'll tell you within a week or so. But no, it's been proved it can take 8 months. They say, oh, I'm not happy. So there you go. And that's the facts of it. That's what happened. You know, I'll tell you in 8 months. You know, I'll send you my PayPal account details and say, please put in $3,500. I'm not happy. That's what was said. That's just stupid, right? With no other communication. Wow, crazy. Sorry, but, you know, do you think I should ignore all that and you know, the basis of why things have happened? It's a basis of why that happened, and it grew from there. So as you know, I read the emails out. You know that you know, you'll do this, and I want to keep all the modifications. I won't let you touch it. I won't let you look at it, but I'll let someone else do it. Oh dear me. So then we could go into people's qualifications to do such things. But I don't think I'll go down that path at the moment. You know, we can all put shots across the bow and we can extrapolate on things. So, yeah, we'll leave it there, hey? Yeah. And how do we sign off on this one? Have a nice life. Catches. I'm out of here.